There's a water tower in Chicago that survived the Great Fire of 1871. The official story says it was built in 1869, but newspapers from 1866 already mention it, and it might appear in drawings from 1853. The timeline here is puzzling. Let me walk you through what I found. The Chicago Water Tower is one of the city's most famous landmarks. It stands out because of its unique medieval-style architecture. Official records say it was built in 1869 to house water pumping equipment. When the Great Chicago Fire destroyed most of the city in 1871, this tower survived. That made it even more famous. It became a symbol of Chicago's resilience. Wikipedia and the Smithsonian both confirm the same story. Built in 1869, survived the fire in 1871. Case closed. Except, it's not that simple. I went to the Library of Congress newspaper archives to find coverage of this tower being built. If you're constructing a prominent building in 1869, especially one with such unusual architecture, newspapers would cover it. Building completions were news back then. I searched Chicago newspapers from 1869. I looked through the Chicago Tribune specifically. Many things are mentioned in 1869. Construction projects, city developments, new buildings. But no mention of completing the water tower. You can verify this yourself. The Library of Congress database is public. Search for Water Tower Chicago and filter by 1869. See what you find. So if it wasn't built in 1869, when was it built? I found the Chicago Tribune article from August 6, 1866, 3 years before the tower was supposedly built. The article talks about fitting pipes into the Chicago Water Tower, not building it, not planning it, installing pipes into an existing structure. The article says the new tower of the waterworks, suggesting the waterworks already existed and the tower was added or repurposed. This raises questions. If the tower existed in 1866, why do historians insist it was built in 1869? But here's where it gets more interesting. I found a drawing of Chicago from 1853. That's 16 years before the tower was supposedly built. In this drawing, there's a structure at the exact location where the water tower stands today. I have verified the location using modern maps. The spot matches perfectly. The structure in the 1853 drawing looks more like a cathedral than a water tower. It has the same architectural style, but appears to be missing the second tower that exists today. Could this be the same building? Was it originally a cathedral that was later converted into a water tower? I tried to find cathedrals in that area to compare. There is a cathedral nearby called Holy Name Cathedral. Similar architecture, similar style, but it's too far west on the map to be the same structure. The drawing could be inaccurate. Old drawings sometimes are, but the location matches too perfectly to ignore. I also found a photo marked Water Tower in 1868 posted on Reddit. That's 1 year before it was supposedly built. The photo shows the tower standing complete, viewed from Pine Street. Interestingly, we have references to the structure in 1866, possibly in 1853, and a photo from 1868, all before the official 1869 construction date. The architectural style of this tower is another clue. It doesn't look like typical American architecture from the 1860s. It looks European, almost medieval, very similar to structures found in old European cities. Why would American settlers in the 1860s build something in this style? They were known for practical, simple buildings, not ornate towers with medieval designs. There's a similar example in Dunedin, New Zealand, a tower from the 1860s that looks like it was taken from the top of a cathedral. It stands in stark contrast to the wooden shacks around it. Same story, supposedly built by settlers who only built simple structures. This pattern appears worldwide. Grand architectural structures that don't match the supposed builders or the time periods. The Chicago Water Tower is made of stone, large carved stone blocks. Where did they source this stone? How did they transport it? Who carved it? These questions aren't answered in official records. Building with stone requires skill. It requires infrastructure, quarries, transportation, trained masons. You can't just decide to build a stone tower without all of that in place. But according to the official timeline, Chicago was barely established in the 1860s. It had just gone through massive growth in the previous decades. Yet somehow they had the resources and the expertise to build this elaborate stone tower? The tower's survival of the fire is also interesting. The fire destroyed thousands of buildings. Wood buildings, yes, but also many brick and stone structures. Yet this tower stood firm. Some say it survived because it was stone, but other stone buildings didn't survive. What made this one special? Unless it was much older and built with techniques or materials that made it more resilient. I'm not claiming to know exactly when this tower was built or by whom, but the official story has holes. The dates don't line up. The architectural style doesn't match the era. Newspaper records contradict the established timeline. This is one building in one city, but if the history of this single structure is this confused and contradictory, what does that say about the broader historical record? The water tower still stands today. You can visit it. You can look at it yourself. Notice the craftsmanship. Notice the style. Ask yourself if it really looks like something built quickly in 1869 by a city that was supposedly still developing. Historical timelines can be more nuanced than simplified accounts suggest. Physical evidence sometimes reveals additional layers to the story. Look closer. Question more. The answers might surprise you. Alright, that's it for this one. If you found this interesting, I'd really appreciate your support. This is a brand new channel, and every like, subscribe, comment, and share honestly helps a lot. If you haven't seen it yet, check out the previous video where I talk about the history of Chicago. It connects really well with this one. And if you've got thoughts, questions, or ideas, drop them in the comments. What should I look into next? Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.